Hello everybody, welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise and today I'm here to share with you this beautiful Celebrate Sunflowers card that we made in my June In Color Club. So the color of the month last month was Bumblebee, and the suite that we featured was the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle. So it's a beautiful stamp set and these awesome dies here. So the dies are the sunflower dies with the Celebrate Sunflowers set. This beautiful bundle is in the 2020-2021 annual catalog for $70 Canadian. So today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card using this set. So to start with, I'm just going to set that aside. We're going to start with a Bumblebee cardstock base. So 8 1/4 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just going to fold that, and then as always, give it a little bit of a crisp burnish with my bone folder. Okay, that makes the card stand up beautifully and a nice crisp edge here. The next piece that I'm going to adhere straight away is this early espresso piece here, and this one would measure 5 1/4 by 4. And using my new Stampin' Seal, if you haven't seen this already, this new adhesive is really great. Has a lot of adhesive on it, and it binds really, really well to your project. Okay, so just going to center that on the front of the card, like so. Okay, and I'm just going to take and set this aside so I don't get ink on it. The next thing that I want to show you is the front stamp. So using a piece of Whisper White cut to 5 by 3 3/4, we're going to take the small daisy stamp here and our early espresso ink pad. Okay. And just randomly along the outer edge, we're going to stamp this cute little daisy. Okay, just like that. Now, I usually like to stamp something on the inside of my card. So for this card, I've got some of these cute little guys inside as well. So while I have the ink and the stamp out, I'm going to take my inside Whisper White, which again would be 5 1/4 by 4. And I'm going to just stamp a few of these randomly in here. Okay, it just kind of ties the inside in with the outside and looks so cute when it's all finished. Okay. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to take my sponge dauber, and these are really cute. They just fit on the end of your finger like so. And using again the early espresso ink pad, bring that back in here. I'm just going to give it a little dab here, and then in a circular motion starting on the center of the flower, we're just going to give it some color. And see how that just brings these little flowers to life? I love it. Very simple, quick way to add a little bit of color to your flowers. Okay. And while I've got the ink out again, I want to distress the edges also using the sponge dauber. So I've just got a bit more ink on there. And I'm just going to flick along the edge like this, just to give the edge a distressed colored look. And I like the way it blends the edges in with the style of the coloring in the center of the flowers. So again, do the inside piece as well. Okay, so the inside piece is done, so I am going to actually adhere that straight into the card just so it's out of the way. Okay, the card over here. My goodness. And I'm just going to adhere that to the center. Okay, now I'm going to set this part aside while we finish the front of the card. So we've got these cute little guys here. Now there's a piece of Bumblebee cardstock, just a scrap, big enough to fit the sunflower. So I believe it's about 3.5 inches square. So being that the stamp's a little bit larger, I like to ink it this way. So with the ink pad upside down. That way we can ensure that the whole stamp has even coverage. And then we're going to stamp that right on top of here. So pretty. All right, we're going to set that aside for now, and then we're going to bring in a piece of Mossy Meadow and the larger leaf stamp from the set, and we're going to stamp 3 of these on here. Okay, now there are dies for each of these images here, and I want to show you a trick. So the leaf is pretty explanatory. It fits exactly on the outer edge, easy. The flower is a little bit more finicky. So how I like to look at this is, here's my stamped image, and right here you can see there's kind of a cluster of petals that are leaning in towards the center of the flower. So I use that as my starting point. Then when I take my die out like this, I look for the 3 petals that are swooshing to the left. So here, 1, 2, 3. These swooshing ones will line up right below the cluster of petals, just like that. Okay, so you can see how easily, once you find those focal pieces to look for, how easily this beautiful die lines up. Now I've gone ahead and ahead of time cut these images out on my Big Shot. So I've got the sunflower and the 3 leaves here. So like we did on the smaller flowers, I'm going to take my sponge dauber and add some color to the center of this flower. And it just gives it so much dimension and really makes that flower pop. So just like that. And then I'm going to pull in my paper trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to cut this sunflower, cut the sunflower right in half. So it doesn't matter which way you cut it, and it doesn't have to be exact. Okay, just like that. So we've got this cut in half now. I'll pull back this card front here, and it's going to end up being with this up here and the other half down below, just like that. And I like to off-center them just a bit, like so. Now those are going to be on dimensionals. So I'm just going to grab those. So the top one we can go ahead and put on straight away. And you're just lining up the edge of the flower to the edge of the Whisper white paper. Just like that. Okay, now the bottom one, we're going to go ahead and put the dimensionals on, but we're going to hold off sticking it on right away because we're going to add in some of this beautiful Bumblebee ribbon. So all of the 5 in colors come with this great ribbon, and it's really soft and really easy to use to work with. So we're just going to cut a piece that will fit across here with a little bit extra. And then I'm going to take my tear tape, and we're going to take off a piece. Line this up where I'd like it. Flip the base over, and we're just going to adhere this straight across there without peeling the second layer of paper off. And then again here. And that's what I'm going to use to hold the ribbon in. I'm not going to attach anything up here. Take and tie a bow. Cut this little guy off. Okay, and I'm just going to set that aside until I have my sunflower placed. So now I'm going to peel these. Let's stick this part down. Okay, and then I'm going to take a glue dot. I'm just going to press my bow into the dot here. Stick the bow down like that. Okay, now the last thing we need to do to get the front part here complete is to add in the leaves. So just with a little bit of my Stampin' Seal, I'm going to stick one leaf in right there. And then I'm going to tuck one in here. And this little guy is going to get layered right in here, like so. Okay. Oh, and lastly, we want to stamp our salutation on this little strip of Whisper White, which is 5/8 by 3 3/8, and it's cut to fit the "Thanks a Bunch" saying. Okay. And then we're just going to flag the end quickly. Like so. And we're going to adhere a couple of dimensionals on this end. I missed the paper there. Okay, so we've got 2 dimensionals here, and then I'm just going to take my Stampin' Seal and put a little bit on this end because this is going to overlay on top of the sunflower that's already bumped up. Okay, so we're just going to stick this, actually no, sorry, we're going to put that aside. We're going to stick this piece on top of the early espresso. And now center that card front like so. And now we're going to take our salutation and we're going to, again with our brown ink and our sponge dauber, we're just going to ink around the edges to give it, tie it in with the rest of the Whisper White that we've done this way. And we are going to stick this on, taking this edge right to the edge of the Bumblebee card itself. Okay, so there we have this finished card, inside and outside. So again, this is the card that we made in June for the 2020-2022 In Color Club that I have running for 5 months. And again, featuring Bumblebee. So thank you so much for stopping in, and I hope you'll pop into my blog, createwithbirdsnest.ca, and see what else I've got going on. Thanks so much.